Hi, it's me, Shannon from World Changer Ministries, and I'm here to read through the Bible with you again today. We are in Genesis 43. We're going to be reading Genesis 43, 44, and 45. So let's start with Genesis 43, verse 1. And the famine was sore in the land, and it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto them, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. If you will send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother? And they said, The man asked us straitly of our state and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down? And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him. Out of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. And their father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds. And take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Peradventure, it was an oversight. Take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man. And God Almighty gave you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. Verse 15 says, And the men that took present, and they took double money in their hand, and Benjamin, and rose up, and went down to Egypt, and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, Bring these men home, and slay and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, Because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us, and fall upon us, and take us for bondmen and our asses. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, O sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand. And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, Peace be to you. Fear not, your God, and the God of your father hath given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house, and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon. and they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well, the old man of whom you spake? Is he yet alive? And they answered, Thy servant, our father, is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother, of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep, and he entered into his chamber, and wept there. And he washed his face, and went out, and refrained himself, and said, Set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with them by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs, and they drank and were merry with him. All right, so that was verse 43, or chapter 43. Now we're going to Genesis chapter 44. All right, so Genesis chapter 44, verse 1 says, And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, Fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men, and when thou dost overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth? Ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. And they said unto him, Wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servant should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold? With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also will be my Lord's bondmen. And he said, Now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched and he searched and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they rent their clothes, and laded every man his ass, and returned to the city. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there. And they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? Let me read that again. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? And Judah said, What shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak, or how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found. And he said, God forbid that I should do so. And he said, God forbid that I should do so, but the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father. Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not thine anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh. My Lord asks his servant, saying, Have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, We have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him. And thou saidst unto thy servants, Bring him down unto me, that I may set mine eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, The lad cannot leave his father, for he should leave his father would die. And thou said unto my servants, Except your youngest brother come down with you, ye shall not see my face no more. And it came to pass, when we came up unto thy servant my father, who we told him the words of my Lord. And our father said, Go again and buy us a little food. And we said, We cannot go down. If our youngest brother be with us, then we will go down. Sorry. It says in verse 26, And we said, We cannot go down. If our youngest brother be with us, then we will go down. For we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us. So now we're in verse 27. It says, And the servant my father said unto us, Ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons, and the one went out from me, and I said, Surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. And if ye take this also from me, and mischief befall him, ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall surely come to pass, when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die. And thy servants shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant our father with sorrows to the grave. For thy servant become surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore, I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren. For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me? Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my face. That shall come on my father. Sorry. Let me read that again. For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me, lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father. Alright, so moving on to Genesis chapter 45. Okay, so we're going to be in Genesis chapter 45, verse 1 now. It says, Then Joseph could not, this is getting long. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all of them that stood by him. And he cried, Cause every man to go out from me, and there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother. What? They would have been tripping. Whom ye sold into Egypt. Whoa, it's like, yeah, I'm the one that you sold into Egypt. I mean, come on. That's like, they must have been speechless, and the look of shock upon their face when they realized that he was alive. And on top of that, not only was he alive, but his dreams had just came true, and now they were coming to him for help. All right. Did I lose my place? Okay. Verse 5. Now therefore, be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves. He's basically saying like, don't have a guilt trip now. Like, basically what's done is done. Therefore, be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life. So basically he knew that God had a plan, that God turned around what the devil meant for evil, and he turned it around for the good. And what the devil meant for evil, to banish him, to kill him, or to just get rid of him, his brothers had all the wrong motives for getting rid of him, because they didn't want, he thought he was all that, and like, who does he think he is, that he's gonna roll over us, or that he's gonna save us, or he's gonna be some great person, And it's like he knew that God had a greater purpose for him. So he's basically telling them this now. He's saying, and God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. He knew that God used him to deliver his own family and brothers, even though they betrayed him to the fullest. He ends up saving their lives, basically. That's just amazing to me. It says in verse 8, so now it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph, God hath made me lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not. Verse 10 says, And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast. And there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household, and all that thou hast come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen. And ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. He's going to see his father that he hasn't seen in years, because his brothers betrayed him and sent him away and tried to bury him, basically. Well, actually, they did bury him. Alright, so then it says in verse 14, And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. They missed each other. He loved his little brother. Verse 15 says, Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them, and after that his brethren talked with him. So see, no matter what betrayal, he was able to forgive. He was able to just be like, you know what, God turned everything around, that the enemy meant for harm, because God had the plans to prosper him and not to harm him, and not to, but to give him a hope and a future, but not just for him, but for his whole family. That God was going to use him to save and rescue his entire family from this famine. It says, wow, this is getting really long. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye, lay your breasts and go, get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father. Did I get everything? I think I missed something. Okay, so verse 16 says, and the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come, and it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye, lay your breasts and go, get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat of the fat of the land. Now thou art commanded, this do ye, take you wagons out of the land of Egypt, for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. And, also, regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours. So basically he's saying, you know what, come back, but don't bring all your stuff with you, because you're not going to need that. And, just like people, they always think they have to have all this baggage that they need to take with them, and it's like, no, just God will provide. You don't have to like hoard a bunch of goods. You don't have to be storing all kinds of stuff, which, it might be good to store some things here and there for future, in case there's a famine or in case there's something. But he's basically, because we should prepare. The Bible does talk about preparing, but in this situation, he's basically saying, you know what, you don't need to bring your things because God is going to provide. There's all this stuff here in the land, and you don't need to bring anything with you. So it's saying, and the children of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man charges of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed, and he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt, and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, as though they didn't know he was alive, because they sold him. So, yeah. But they're like acting like, oh, it's a big shocker. Like, obviously they were scheming and scamming all along. And he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. Like, he didn't even believe them. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Israel said, it is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. That story is so amazing, like he's still going to get to see his father before his father dies. His father, who has been mourning for the loss of his son for all of this time, is finally going to get a chance to see his son that his own children thought was not worth anything, and that he was just nothing. He was like the black sheep of the family. They were tossing him aside. They were leaving him in a ditch to die, and then they're like, yeah, no, hey, wait, let's just make money off of him. So then they sold him. So, and so they had no idea all they knew is what they thought they were going to benefit from the situation. But God turned it around. Anyways, I put a lot of commentary into this. I didn't expect it to be a message. I was literally just going to read. But this story really touches my heart. So I wanted to share with you my little thoughts on this story. So I hope you have a great week. God bless.